Hello friends, how is everybody doing today? My name is Claudia and this is Katie Counseling. Welcome back to my channel. So today we will discuss everything residency, okay? So it's been about a week or two, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't last weekend, but the weekend before that. I wanted to gather all my thoughts about it and I want to report to you guys. Before we get started, follow me at Katie Counseling over on Instagram, where I share a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff from my whole journey on there, so just check it out. If you have any questions, DM me. I love helping you guys. So yeah. So residency. Some programs have residency and some programs do not have residency. My program does have residency because we do not have Zoom every week with our teachers for classes. I do have Zoom or like FaceTime with my teachers and my classmates, but only for supervision. And that's different than having classes for just regular classes, right? Part of this program, for you to graduate and for you to be allowed to take the licensure exam after graduation, you have to have a certain amount of hours when you graduate. So when we do our direct hours on site, I think that's like 755 hours or something like that, and you have to have up to 1,200 hours. So I guess they take that time in between. I don't know how they do it exactly, I have to find out, but these hours that we're in residency and that we're doing the Zoom with the teachers and stuff like that, I think that all goes towards the final 1,200 hours you have to graduate and to be able to get your degree. So residency, this was my fourth one. I had 2 online residencies and I had 2 in-person residencies. I pretty much what it is for 3 days you go to your university, to my university, and every cohort is there, my whole program is there, and all the teachers are there and the people that run the program. So pretty much it is for us, for my program, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday from 8:30 to 5 p.m. Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then on Sunday from 8:30 a.m. to like 12 or 12:30 p.m. And pretty much what we do, I'll just break it down and then I'll tell you how this one was because they're all different. Pretty much what we do is we get to practice counseling with our peers. We do like mock sessions. It's the same type of mock sessions we would do on the recordings for our internship, but they're a little more vague. It's a little more like just role playing, right? We get presentations from our teachers. They do like different specialty trainings with us that they show us how to do certain kind of therapies, like working with children or working with addiction, working with whatever. They'll give us like a not a crash course, but they'll show us how to do it and we're able to use it in practice. For this one we did play therapy again, and it's very interesting. I'll go over that here in a minute. So we had alumni come in and talk to us about certain subjects. So again, like I told you, we have 4 residencies. So the people from residency 1 and 2 got a different presentation. They got a presentation about like internship and how to find sites and how to do everything. And then I was in residency 4, so the people from residency 3 and 4 got to watch a panel on business and how to start your own business and what everybody did when they graduated and then how they get on insurance panels and what's the best way to do what you got to do, right? And all these presentations are recorded so everybody can watch them, but just depends on when you are, where you are at, you know what I mean? Like, so the people that it's their first residency and they've taken like 3 classes, it would be a little too much for them to receive all the information that we did, the people that are like graduating or ready to graduate next semester, you know what I'm saying? So they kind of give everybody a little bit of what they need. It was really great. So yeah, let me get into what else we do. Like, it was really great role playing with people that are on my level, that are like graduating or about to graduate next semester, because you kind of, how do I explain it? You get to be really vulnerable with them, and if you want to process your own stuff, you're able to, because you can definitely do a mock scenario, but you can definitely like process what you need to process. And I love doing that because, and this is just like TMI, I'm just telling you like my own stuff. Even if you have a therapist, even if you're doing mock in front of teachers, it's not the same. You're always like being watched and you're like, but like when you get to like process things, or like, you know, I don't know how to explain it. So, okay, the sand tray thing, it's usually for kids, but you can use it for anybody, whatever age. It's a special type of technique where you have to have a blue bottom, a blue tray, or a blue plate, then you put sand there, and then you pick out different figures, and then you kind of place them. You kind of, if for kids, you illustrate, like you can see what's going on in their head when they play with toys. You get to kind of see like what's going on, right? Like if there's fighting at the home, or if there's, you know, like people are yelling, or if somebody, you know what I mean? If they don't like somebody, like usually they'll be able to interpret that in the sand tray. It's part of play therapy. But we did it, you know, for us, and they told us there's directive and then there's non-directive. But they told us you get to pick 4 things and put them in the sand tray. And I picked mine, and then my partner picked hers. And we really got to like process these trays together, and it really like mirrored our life in the moment. And it really mirrors like your subconscious, and it was really cool to learn the technique, but it was also really cool to be like, whoa, you really see how this works. And that's why residency is great, because, you know, we've done sand tray before, and kind of in the back of my head I was like, oh my god, I've done this before, like why am I doing it again? Like I know how to do this. Dude, it blew my mind how something simple like that has such profound, like it can make such profound like change. So don't ever think small things can't be big things, right? So that was great. It was nice to hang out with my cohort and like listen to what they're going through, and it just kind of makes you feel like you're less alone, because, you know, when you do these primarily like online cohorts, even though like we're in a group chat together, even though we see each other in supervision, it's nice to just do the chit chat and talk about everything and like help each other out and share resources. And, you know, when you're in school with people in like high school, or even if you're in college in person, like you get that connection and you help each other out. So it's just so nice to be with them for like 3 days. And like I said, like somebody be like, oh, I have a resource for that, let me airdrop it to you. Oh, I know this website for these books. Oh, here you go. Like everybody got it, you know? Or like you hear them talking about something that they're struggling with, or like helping a client, and you're like, oh my god, I had a client like that, this is what we did. So it's amazing. It's really good for that. We did, so my supervisor actually did a presentation, because we're one of the only facilities that does primarily group therapy. So I got to kind of chime in on like a lot of the group therapy things, and we got to facilitate a group. Like the people that are in residency 4, our last residency, we were facilitators, and all the other residencies 1, 2, and 3s got to be the group, right? And they gave us a topic, and it was just really neat, you guys, to facilitate a group with somebody I haven't worked with before and know how to do it. It just makes you think, like anywhere you go, if you get a job, or if like even you build your own, you know, practice and you have group therapy, if somebody's trained excuse me, if somebody is trained in like K-CREP and like the way that you're supposed to be trained, you can go anywhere in the country and just kind of jump in, and you guys will both be on the same wavelength because you're trained the same. Yeah, it was great because we got to facilitate, we got to model how to facilitate a group, because you guys, we have to have 10 group hours in the whole internship, and my group hours are like 7.5 hours a week. That's what I get. That's what I get for my internship of group. And unless you've facilitated groups before, it's harder than it looks. It's harder to do the therapy. It's really cool when you learn how to do it, but once, like, I would sit in with groups with my facilitators, with my supervisors, and I'm like, oh, this is easy. And then when they just went radio silent and I had to run the whole group for the first time, holy guacamole, you guys, it's hard because all eyes are on you. You have to push the session along. Some people might not talk. Like, you think you might like have something like, oh, this subject is great, or even if you have like a whole psychoeducational sheet on stuff, some people may not be interested in what you're saying, or if they're not like just in it that day. Whew, it's tough. So it was cool to show that to a group. It was cool to sit in silence with a group, you know what I mean? Like, it was interesting. Yeah, so pretty much we were broken up into groups again to do mock counseling. And the most important thing that I think we got to model, I don't think I'm allowed to say the word on YouTube, but it's an assessment for SIHI. If you're in this field, you should know what that means. And to model this type of assessment to see the client's safety and where they're at, that was interesting, because unless you're licensed or unless you like observe the S ideation test or H ideation test a couple times, 10 times, you're not allowed to give it unless you're licensed, or they won't let you do it even with the licensed person in the room unless you've seen that assessment done more than like 10 times. Because it's very important every time you do an intake, or if you're thinking that somebody might have those type of ideations, you really have to log it. You have to do the assessment, and you have to do a safety contract for them. So we got to do that with the younger crowd, and it was interesting because those are very, very tough questions to ask, especially when, let's say you're doing an intake and you don't have rapport with the client yet. Not really. They are tough questions to ask, so definitely a good learning experience. So yeah, guys, I will tell you one like takeaway from all of this. I'm gonna tell you, okay? So I've made it this far. It's like, my program's almost over, and I'm thinking to myself, what have I learned about myself? What do I want to do, and how do I see my life going, right? And there's like a little piece of me, little spark, little thing that kind of, a switch that turned on, where in a perfect world, like, I would love to be a psychologist, because I think it would be very interesting to do those type of assessments and get my education in that. And I might still look into it. And if I really, 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 really look into it, like, I'm gonna go to the facility, I'm gonna go to the school and like really check it out and see if I can actually do it, because again, it's more student loans and a lot more time, and I don't think I have the capacity to do that right now. I need at least a year off, but I'm really leaning towards one day soon, not now, again, maybe in like a year, I want to build my business first and switch from, working at a restaurant to being a full-time therapist, having my own business, or working in a group. But I might want to be a therapist educator. Being and modeling like how to do group therapy and like doing presentations and being involved with the students just really brings me joy, and I didn't realize how much joy it brought me. So I think, like, I looked into it, it's 3 years. They have different programs in Florida, and it would be a doctoral degree in education of teaching therapists how to be therapists. So I'm thinking about doing that. I will do a lot of research on that, because I don't think 3 years is that long. I think to be a psychologist, it's like a lot more than that. I think it's another like up to 5 years, and I don't think I have 5 years in me, you guys. I have 5 years total of grad school in me, but not 5 years on top of the 2.5 I just did, right? So we will see, but I think it'd be great reading the description for the doctoral degree, and like You have to do a presentation, you have a dissertation, you have to do an internship on being a teacher in a master's program. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see, because I don't know, it's really intriguing, and I think that would be a really smart next step to take me to the next level. But baby steps until then, you guys. I need a little break. Yeah, I need at least a year to just do all the business stuff and get myself situated, and another year after that to get fully licensed, and I will do my research in the meantime. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just to let you know, this is, you know, being in this field or being in this graduate program has taught me a lot about myself, and you will grow through it. You will find yourself more. You have to do a lot of work on yourself. So it's been very good, and I hope that everybody else here is feeling the same. And let me know how everything's going, you guys. Leave a little comment if you made it to the end of the video. Leave a little butterfly emoji. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.